Yes, we are live again. Woo!
Yes, good evening, everyone. Zayne just presented our cover for this episode, and
Oh
I
yeah,
think this cover is very aesthetic. And I think
it's nice, right?
maybe we should think of selling it as NFT. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's not my image. I think,
Okay.
yeah, there might be some IP issue, but I love it. I was a bit hesitant to look at that and go, this looks a bit. I'm not quite sure how to say this. If people are listening, you should definitely check on YouTube to see the cover of this. But it grabs attention, right? So I think I decided to use it anyway.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
it's amazing. It's really eye catching.
mm,
All right, but let's move on and let's discuss our topic for tonight. And our
mm-hmm,
topic for tonight is hustle and whether it's right for you. So, for
mm-hmm,
you, our listeners, whether it's right for you to step on the path of of
mm-hmm,
hustling.
mm-hmm.
Zane, would
Yeah,
you care to start?
yeah, I can definitely start. So I think I suggested talking about this, right? And the reason is because I am thinking that, we obviously talk about like, we hustle, etc., etc. But I observed that some of my friends, they just are not that type of person. They just kind of likes to, yeah, they work, but then they just sort of like to like sit back and relax. They're not really working to that sort of level. And then I think to myself, like, does hustle only work for certain type of people? And I don't know about, obviously we need to think about this, but I'm thinking maybe it's the definition of it. But when I mention like, oh, hustle, they're like, people say, oh yeah, because you're a hustler. And I was like, yeah, I am, but the things that I work for is the things that you definitely want, right? We just want more freedom, we want a bit more money, we want to work a bit harder to find out our real potential, just push that a bit more. Um, I'm sure, I don't know, but I mean, from my perspective, I feel like everyone wants the same thing, right? So this is why I want to like talk about it, to go, do you think that hustle only works for certain type of people with certain type of personality?
Um, I think the let's say uh, there are, let's say, two levels uh, of uh, of this. I don't know how to call it, but when it comes to whether someone is suited for hustling or not, there are, let's say, two levels that we have to look at. So one of the levels that I see is that there are people who really want to hustle. There are people who don't want to hustle, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone has to be willing to hustle, but
Mm-hmm.
there is third group of people who say they want to hustle, but they don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem with people who want to hustle and do hustle. It's not a problem with people who don't want to hustle at all. It's a problem with people who say they want to hustle but they don't act upon it. For
Mm.
example, when it comes to people who don't want to hustle at all, I have heard it from my brother, like, I don't know, it was maybe 1 year ago or 2 years ago. He said that something between the lines that um, he's not there to hustle. Like, he wants to earn good money in his life, but he doesn't want to hustle for it. He doesn't
Mm.
want to go to this ridiculous level of, let's say, killing himself for striving for something higher. Of course, we don't hustle only for money. We hustle for many different reasons, and actually, the greatest drive for for the act of hustling is probably just uh, inner, I don't know, urge to do so. It's like there is something inside you, and it's like this force inside you that wants to go out and want to and push you and pushes you to hustle, right? Because if money is your motivation, probably it's really hard to really get yourself to hustle. But if there is something inside you that puts you that puts you on this path to hustling, then it's, you know, it's not level. But as I said, the problem is with people who say they want to hustle but they don't act upon it. Maybe they are lost and they don't know how to do it, but for me it's just an excuse. Oh, I don't know how to do it. You probably don't know how to do it, but you have fucking internet that you can use to learn how you can hustle in a way that you really want. Or maybe you don't know the way in which you want to hustle. Then try different things, take an action. And of course there are people out there who say they want to hustle because they feel, let's say, pressured by the society, by social media, because we see so many successful people in social media. I guess the thing is that 20, 30, 40 years ago, people only have heard about successful people from newspapers, TV, and maybe from their like close network. But now you can, you can look at anyone from anywhere in the world, and you see so many successful people, and probably people overestimate, let's say, the accurate, I don't know, percentage of successful people. They don't realize that being successful only being successful is only a case for small percentage of people. It's not like every other person is successful. It doesn't work like that. So these people feel, let's say, more pressured about being successful than they actually want to be successful. You know what I mean? They feel pressured
Yes.
about hustling. They are not, I don't know, born to hustle, I would say.
I think about this, right? And I was like, there are a few people, like you said, who are very different. Some people see you hustle and then they're like, oh, I'm just not the type. Fine, I don't care what you say to me in the surface, right? But I always say to people, and I was just like you can lie to me, not a problem. You can say, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that. But my only thing is you cannot lie to yourself. If you admire people for them being able to hustle, and then secretly inside you, you're thinking, why am I not like that? Or maybe I'm just not that type or whatever, then you're right. You're absolutely finding yourself an excuse, and you're not just facing the thing straight up. If you're envious about being able to hustle, there's some part of you that actually wants it. You just not find a way that works for you. And that's the whole point about hustle, right? It's not like we know the answer to start with, but we work to find the answer. And you are working to find the answer in your business. I'm working to find the answer in creating my own sort of like business or do things the way. And like Dan, you attended the master class, and I was like, you know what? I actually love teaching people about these things. I love it when people learn something and they get some insights and we have some conversation. It's like, that's great. That's my way of doing it. But I didn't, it took me 3 years to get there. I didn't just like suddenly find the answer. So I think, when I think about this thing, I think about what Gary Vaynerchuk says. He's like, always think about like self-awareness. Because for me, it's like hustle, there is a part of everybody who is wired up or geared up to hustle. It's just for you, even if that word is not hustle, so yeah, it's just that when I think about it, I was like, so for people who genuinely want to relax and sit back, that like there's some people who just go like, oh, I just do my stuff, and then for the rest of my time, I just don't want to do anything. I just want to enjoy. I just want to relax. I just want to like all this sort of stuff. I wonder from your perspective, right? Like, Dan, when you see people who are like that, when you see people who just want to sit back and relax, what do you think? Do you think like that's okay? Like that's their way of hustle, or do you think like are they really trying? I don't know. What do you think? I have my way of thinking, but I want to see what you think.
Sorry, can you rephrase? Can you repeat your question? I just saw some. I just noticed that there is some problem with streaming to Facebook
Yes.
and just streaming to Facebook. So I tried to fix it. So I really didn't listen. Can you repeat
I
your
saw
question?
that too. It pops up like a massive red
Yeah,
screen over
yeah,
here,
yeah.
and that's
Exactly.
fine. So I think my question is, um, you hustle, you work really hard, right? Day, night, or whatever. When you meet someone who's like, hustle is not for me, I'm just gonna sit back and relax, that kind of a different type of personality. What do you think? Do you think like they are? Do you think like it's fine that hustle is not for them, or there's a part of you that goes, have you really explored and ask yourself the question and do the hard thing?
Uh, it really depends.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are people who just sit back and they are comfortable with their situation, then that's fine. I see nothing wrong. If there are people who just sit back and yeah, I'm fine. I just enjoy sitting back. I just enjoy my current situation in life. I enjoy how much I do about my work. I enjoy how much I do about my social life, and I enjoy how I do about my how much I do about my hobbies, etc., etc. But but it's really annoying when I hear people complaining about their work, their hobby, their social life, and at the same time they don't do anything about
Uh,
not about those things, you know.
yeah.
So you hear someone complaining about, oh, I'm not earning enough. Okay, what have you done in last, I don't know, month, 2 months, 3 months to change your financial situation? Oh, I would love to I don't know, I would love to go skiing, I would love to do sports on a regular basis. Okay, so what have you done about it in last month, last 2 months, 3 months? Why are you spending so much time on watching Netflix instead of doing sports? Or I don't know, social life. Oh, I have very little friends or whatever. When was the last time you invited someone over
Mm,
or asked someone to go out?
mm,
So people, so it's fine. Like I am fine with people who feel comfortable with their situation and they don't hustle. That's good. But when there
mm.
is someone who definitely doesn't enjoy his or her situation in whatever aspect of his or her life, and they don't hustle, then that's wrong. And
Mm.
it's annoying just to hear those complaints, you know. if you
Yeah,
don't if you don't act upon something, why do you complain? i
yeah.
i i can understand that you might be complaining about something if you are, trying your best and it doesn't work out, because
Mm,
everyone has the right to complain at some point.
mm.
If you are trying really hard and you complain, okay, that's fine. You feel frustrated, but why do you feel frustrated when you don't act, when you don't take action?
Mm. That that frustrates me so much too. Like, I think it was some point like last month or some time ago. Me and my friend were just chatting. He's a hard worker as well, but we were just chatting when we were cooking meals, etc. And then I said to him that now, when I look back and then, we've been doing this podcast for God knows how long. And then we're doing so many stuff, right? You're working on some stuff, I'm working on some stuff. But when people say, I said to him that I said I cannot tolerate someone who just tells me or just complains to me about things and then when they don't do anything about it. Like, I'll just go, don't give me that bullshit. I don't have time for that.
Yeah,
I honestly think that like don't give me that. I'm not here to listen. Like please stop because I will hate you for it. Like don't come to me with problems. And going back to what I was saying was that I think if people say to me they can really relax and not do anything about it, and they really mean it, great. I think that's great. But always when people say that to me, that's not my first reaction. My first reaction is like, is it really? Like, do you really enjoy so much there is not a little part of you that says maybe there's a little bit more? Like, honestly, I mean it honestly, because I start to get to a point sometimes where I think, you know what, we're just keep working and grinding and working and grinding. Maybe that's just how life is going to be. You just keep striving to become better. Obviously, along the way, it's how do you not get stressed out? How do you find a balance? All this kind of stuff. But it's a constant journey, right? You don't, if you relax, you just you're just there. You're just stagnant. You just don't go further anymore. That's why if people tell me, I don't really trust it, because I think that's just a defensive way of saying I don't need this. But if you poke a little bit more, I think they will they
Best.
will say, yeah, they actually want more. Yeah.
You know what? Answering the question in the title of our episode, I
Mm,
was I was thinking about two most important thing about how to know if hustle is right for you. And I think you should ask yourself kind of similar questions as to whether entrepreneurship is right for you. But I when it comes to hustle, I would focus only on two things, really, because we define hustle in many different angles, not only entrepreneurship. We defined hustle as being above average,
mm,
being above average in everything you do in your life, in your work, in your business, in your hobbies, in your social
relationship.
life, right? So there are two things that you need to ask yourself to really discover whether hustle is right for you. One of them is, am I ready and willing to fail and learn? Because
Mm,
hustling and achieving this extraordinary level requires taking risk, and taking risks uh, is associated with failing. And then if you want to become better, you need to take lessons from those failures. And another thing is, am I ready to make sacrifices? Because hustling requires sacrifices. You are not able to do everything you have done so far in your life on regular basis. You will have to give up on some stuff,
mm-hmm,
because it doesn't come along with this extraordinary level. If you want
mm-hmm.
to run a business on extraordinary level, then forget that you will be binge watching Netflix every evening. That's a no.
Correct.
If you want to become a hustler in some sports, then forget about night outs every Friday and Saturday. You cannot drink two nights a week and then expect that you will be amazing in sports you're doing.
Mm,
That's not gonna happen. These are just two examples, but where whatever you choose for you to be hustler in, you will have to make sacrifices,
I
because
agree.
it is.
Especially on your second point, when I first started, this whole thing 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, I was thinking to myself that, but I don't want to give up my YouTube. I love watching my YouTube videos, my time to relax, the entertainment. But now, 2 years later, I really don't spend a lot of time. I do spend a lot on time on YouTube, but not on entertainment. It was all education stuff. I was learning and all those kind of things. And it's just a slow transition, and you just slowly replace those time with the things that will really actually feed your mind, build your body, etc. But for me, you just mentioned like two things, right? For me, it's like it's just one thing, which is how to know if hustle is right for you. For me, it's like if you really, 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 really ask yourself and be really honest, and say, is there actually more here that I really want myself to become? If that answer is kind of yes, it's not even a full yes. If it's a kind of yes, if it's not 100% no, then there's a little bit, then I think it is right for you. You might not like the word hustle. It might be a word for striving or thriving or whatever. I don't care whatever word that people think, but the mentality and the principle is the same, which is if there is a little bit more, you need to go in, you need to explore it, expand it, give it some light, let it grow, and then you will start to embark on that journey, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
We have over 20 minutes now, so it's
That's
time
good.
for us to finish. And one lesson I would like you to take from this episode is definitely uh, don't complain if you haven't done anything about your current situation in your life, and you just sit back and you are not comfortable with with your situation, then take action. If it doesn't work out, then you have the right to complain. If you don't take action, don't complain. That's my takeaway for you from this episode.
That is wonderful. Cool. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So for people who are listening or watching, if you have any idea or any thoughts about the topic we talk about, leave a comment below. Let us know. And then once you have done that, give us a little ding, a little like or subscribe. If you enjoy the show,
Show some love.
show some love. Exactly. And then follow us on Instagram, and maybe even tell us, what do you want us to talk about next time? And then we will probably expand on that topic and subject. Okay, that's it.
Yes.
I think. Okay, enjoy everyone. Have a good one and see you